Okay, so let's go ahead and do a spiral first. So spiral bandaging is wrapping is any time that you have an injury that the provider wants you to do just like a normal wrapping to give a little bit pressure on patient's arm. So at this time, Jessica is here for sports and physical injury. So we always go from distal to proximal. Your bandage will always stay which way is against the patient's skin. So anytime we start, the first round is going to be 2. You're gonna round 2 times, and always make sure you're not on the joints, away from the joints. For the spiral, it's gonna be like about an inch away from one layer from the other layer. So about like, if you wanna keep your hands out, perfect. 1 inch. So the goal is in here that we're not stretching. We do not want to apply this as an tourniquet. And just normally go over it. And then the last one, we're just gonna grab it and then put it on the last layers. So if you had more of your wrap before we come to the joints, we're gonna make sure to cut it, or the goal is not to put it few layers on top of each other, because that's gonna apply as a tourniquet again. So that is our spiral. And then for reverse spiral, the start is the same. So we're gonna grab our bandage and away from the joints, because we do not want to block the joints. We're not stretching. 2 rounds. As our 2 rounds, let's say that we want to put pressure in this area. So you grab your bandage, roll it. Grab your bandage, roll it. And the goal is to make sure that you want to be close to the one another. You don't want to have a gap in between, and you do not want to be on top of them. You roll it. And then always roll the same way. If I'm keep rolling towards my patient as I'm coming, I'm gonna keep doing it. I do not want to come from here starting towards my patient and then the next one towards me. That's gonna mess it up with the pressure. And this did not look a straight one, but we do want it to be a straight one. So if I messed it up, I'm gonna open it back. Always have your roll be rolled although it's not open it up. So from here on, I'm just gonna come a little bit closer and I'm gonna roll it again. Gonna come here, I'm gonna twist it. And this is my last layer, so I'm just gonna open it up all the way, and it's not gonna end up the same way, it's okay. And right now I can go ahead and twist it as long I'm not coming on top of these to apply as a tourniquet again. And making sure in here that it's not too tight by confirming with our patient. Jessica, how's that feel?
Good.
All right, so we can put 2 fingers under it to make sure that it's not too tight, keeping an eye on the skin to make sure it's not getting darker, that is like cutting the blood circulation. All right, so that was reverse spiral, and the third one is going to be a figure 8. So figure 8 is always on the joints. So if she would come in for a sports and physical injury on her wrist, on her elbow, shoulder, knee, or ankle, that would be a figure 8. So this one is a different bandage that I wanted to show you. So right now, again, we're going to go from distal to proximal, and the goal in here is to make sure we put pressure on her wrist. We don't want pressure on the hand or on the forearm. So first thing again in here, and open up your thumb for me. Perfect. So this is a different bandage. 2 rounds. After my 2 rounds that I come in here, I'm gonna go around, keep your arm up. Sorry, it's gonna make you tired. Around the wrist, and as I'm coming back in here, I'm gonna go 1 more time. From here on, I'm gonna make sure that I focus on the wrist. I want pressure on the wrist. As I'm coming back in here, I can go over the thumb. I do not wanna cover the thumb, but I can go over the thumb. And now you can put your arm down for me. The thumb down. Perfect. Putting my finger right here, coming back in here. Again, I'm gonna work towards the thumb, and I'm gonna come back here, open the last up, here. So what we want to see that we're putting a little bit pressure around the wrist area. Same thing in here, we want to make sure we check the capillary reflex. We want to make sure that it's not too tight. Checking with our patient, putting the fingers in here too. Oh, I know you have a bracelet on that one, you can't move it. So I want to show you one more time with the back of the hand how we do it, just in case you don't like to have the hand facing up. We can also do it while our patient has their hands this way. So same thing in here. And open up your thumb for me. Perfect. Oh, go away. So 2 rounds. This one is gonna go around her wrist, coming back up, and then gonna go again around the wrist because we want pressure on the wrist. We don't want it on the back of the hand. And then coming back up. And my last one, I'm gonna make sure it's tight. All right, and if it's on her finger, I can move this a little bit so it's not blocking the finger, the joints. Okay, can you move your finger? And then we can check the capillary reflection, making sure that that comes back to the same color in counting to 3, and then putting our fingers in here, making sure it's not too tight. And how's that feel?
Good.
All right, perfect. And that is 8.